Hey Trick, thanks for keeping this dialogue going, and thanks for being civil. Anyhow, I'm going to try and make this short if I can. In your comment, you say, "I agree with you that those types of problems exist, like lining the pockets of politicians, paying for wars and crap like that. But that is not the intention of taxes. It's to support the society that you, quote unquote, are a part of." And how did I become a part of society? Let's look what Judge Jessica Cooper had to say to Dr. Kevorkian when she's about to sentence him to prison. She says, "This trial was about disrespect for a society that exists and flourishes because of the strength of the legal system." Okay, that's how I came to be a part of society. I don't think she understood exactly what she's saying, which is not surprising. I mean, she's talking as if people existing and flourishing is something to respect, right? That's not, as an anti-natalist, I have there's no reason why I should respect people existing and breeding, right? Okay? So if anything, the legal system, right, the state, owes me. I don't owe them anything. I mean, it's a cause and effect world, right? And so she's right. I'm here because, just like I'm here because of the state. If the state had not existed prior to my coming into existence, it's highly likely I wouldn't even be here to worry about this. So I should actually be able to take them to court and sue them for damages for all my pain and suffering. Just like when Gary, in part one response to Gary, he made his he's Gary the lion killer. He killed all the lions, and since he did that, all these people are going to come into existence that wouldn't have come into existence. So, yeah, I don't owe the state anything. They owe me. But, regardless, you're saying that, the taxes need to be fixed. And that's what I'm saying. It should be fees instead of taxes. Taxes, they're saying, you will pay the state or suffer the consequences, regardless of what they use the money for. That's what I made in part one. There's fees and there's taxes. As a matter of fact, Gary switched over to fees as if taxes and fees are the same thing. They're not. Fees go directly to what the user is going to use. That's the difference between fees and taxes. I can't think of a case where you're forced to pay a fee. But with taxes, you're forced to pay it, and they can do whatever they want with those taxes, whether I like it or not. That's the difference. I mean, the statement by Judge Jessica Cooper, I mean, the whole thing is just complete nonsense. I mean, I could do a whole video on. Hey. Okay. Well, there we go. I guess I'll address that. I'm here because the state exists, and then the state says, well, they think it's a good thing, right? Because Michigan, like many others, are grateful to an almighty God, and that's just ridiculous. That's just so unsound. It's bizarre. So that's first and foremost. Address that point. Cause and effect world. I'm here because the state was here first. Right? My great-grandparents came to the United States of America and bred. Okay? They came from two different countries. to the United States and bred. So if the United States was not here, I mean, I can't say 100% I wouldn't be here, but as the judge said, society exists and flourishes because of the strength of the legal system, the state. Okay? So anyhow, moving on. Okay, you're quoting me. If I cannot claim ownership to my money, then you say, this sentence begs the question. It isn't your money. Well, how come you can say that, but I can't say it's my money? I mean, I'm going out in the world and I'm working, all right? I'm laboring. That's my labor. That's my experience. I'm doing something that I don't want to do, okay, and getting something in return. And you're saying this society could just take some and do whatever they want with it. And, you know, how do they how do they justify it? I haven't heard a justification for them doing it. Okay, and then you say, okay, I say, my labor, how can society claim ownership? And you say, because ownership rights are not inherent. They are simply granted as a means to an end. How did they get the authority to grant? They're just people like me and you. You know, just because there's a bunch of them, now all of a sudden they have special rights. Then you go on. The justification of such stem from long assessments on what is best for society and the population of that society in general. Well, see, what is best? Now, what is rational? Okay? This is the authority. If you can't, if there's no rational argument for what's best, then you have nothing. Okay, then you're quoting me. Does society have special rights that I do not? You say, if you live in a society, then yes. Well, back that up. How do they get special rights? They're just people. Society is just a group of people breeding, right? I'm supposed to respect that for some reason. And you go on. But again, these aren't inherent. They are granted. How do they get the right to grant special rights to themselves? Or, I mean, I'm not getting it. Okay, you go on. If the population of a society decided the best thing was to crash a society, they would... Oh, I gotta pause again. Okay, let's see, where was I? Crash a society, where are we at here? They would remove such taxes. Why would that be? I mean, how would that be? How would they decide that that was the best thing to crash a society? What is crashing a society? I mean, change taxes to fees. And if you want to have progressive fees, you know, if you're a billionaire, you should maybe pay more for the roads or whatever than me. Like right now, I'm below the poverty line. Well, my family is. And at least society recognizes that, you know, I don't make enough to pay federal taxes. I mean, that's one of the rules. If you're below the poverty line, you don't have to pay federal taxes or state taxes. I'm still paying like Medicare and retirement, whatever, but I'm not paying federal taxes because I don't make enough. But it's, you know, it should be fees, not taxes. Okay. And well, I'm making a point about the tax versus fee thing, and you say, in a world where no person is more deserving of wealth over another person, no. It shouldn't be up to a person to decide if they want to distribute wealth at all. Who should it be up to? Society? You know, what, majority rules? I mean, the system is screwed to begin with. So, I mean, anyhow. Roads are not just important for the person driving on them, they are important to get products from location X to location Y, okay? Products that consumers such as yourself use daily. Okay, well, why can't that be, I mean, if it takes so much, I mean, it depends on what you want, what the consumer wants to buy. If it takes more driving to get product X than it does to get product Y, then the consumers pay more for product X than product Y. You know, they are used to bring medical equipment and medication places. Okay, but again, taxes go to whatever government decides they should go to. It's not a rational system. They tax and they can use it to make bombs, even if you don't want bombs made. That's my point. Taxes versus fees. They're used for all this stuff. And bring your mail. Like, most of my mail is junk mail. Advertisements. You know, I mean, the advertising industry, my God, don't get me started on that. Blah, blah, blah. I mean, they are used to carry materials that help build important infrastructure. So that's a specific thing. Right? You want to have a fee-based system. You can have it progressive if you want. The more you're benefiting from society, the more you pay for infrastructure. But like I say, the taxes don't necessarily go for infrastructure. They go for bombs and shit that I don't want. But again, you're saying, but again, what can be argued is that taxes should and should not be used for. That's a different conversation. Well, that's what I'm talking about. Fees versus taxes. Okay, then you're quoting me. Granted by who? Where did they get the authority to grant? You say, laws put in place, and in parentheses, through long processes. Well, these laws, right, in quotes, should be rules, but not, these laws. I mean, that thing about Judge Cooper, it's like she's the high priestess, you must do as I say, even if it's not rational. In a democracy, we vote in representatives who align with our ideas about what will be best for where we live. See, voting. I mean, if you got a group where 9 out of 10 are delusional, is that the best way to decide what's to be done? Laws, including tax law, is built from ground up and slowly changed over time. See, a law that is changing. That's I guess you could say that's one of the strengths of our system, is that laws that are stupid can get changed. Okay, but it's not, if the majority of people held an absolute free market ideology, they would only vote in people with similar mindsets, and laws would eventually change accordingly. Well, I don't even know what to say to that. It so happens that there are many people who hold a mindset that people shouldn't have full ownership rights. Well, and is the argument from many people hold a mindset? Why do they think they shouldn't have? I mean, ownership rights is, like I said before, I go out there in the world and I labor. You're saying that I should work for you, society, because you brought me into existence and I should be grateful, right? No. There needs to be a balance between fairness, equality of wealth, health, and well-being, and productivity at the expense of such fairness and equality. Yeah, how do you do that? Rational thought. I don't see anything rational there. Capitalism, you're saying, is there to play two irrational psychologists who think they are actually more deserving over other people than what they have. Well, I mean, we're in a mixed economy here, right? Which is like the worst. I'd rather have like full-blown capitalism or communism. But like anarcho-communism, I can't tell you what to do just by somehow I have the authority. I can rationally argue something, and you can either accept it or reject it. And if you reject it, give me a counter argument. I mean, yeah, there's, like my wife's disabled. She'd like to be able to work, but she can't. So, a rational society is to say, hey, we should, you can call it a tax if you want, but I think fees more appropriate. We pay fees to help people that are disabled. That's rational. Saying that, intellectual property rights. So he thought of something really cool, therefore he's more deserving. No. It's just thoughts just occur. You have no control over your thoughts. If you come up with some neat idea, you got lucky. Okay? Okay, you say the entire justification of inequality and unfairness rests on this idea that you deserve more than another person. Okay. Anyhow, you say someone who understands that free will, blame, and deserve are irrational ideas should, in my opinion, know better than what? You should say I should know better. I'm saying taxation is theft because it doesn't go. The state taxes you and does what they want with the tax. I'm saying it should go for. It should be a fee-based system. It should be voluntary. I mean, if we have to be a rational society. We're not a rational society. I mean, that would be kind of a better argument. And we live in a world of irrational people. Therefore, we need to tax. But you're giving your money to irrational people, so it just doesn't work. That's why it should be fee-based. Anyhow, this is probably long enough. I hope I made, like I said, first thing is, nobody owes society shit just because you were born into it. You should get what you pay for. It should be fee-based. Taxes. So you have to work for us. That's what taxes are. You need to work for society, and majority rules will decide where that money is going to go. No. That's not rational. I'm sorry, it's just not. I mean, come up with something besides taxes. I'm saying it should be fee-based. Maybe there's something else. But taxes isn't rational.